Hi everyone, my name is Montana Houston and this is the Montana Houston channel. Let's get right into it. This is the first book that I read post-college and I absolutely needed it. The timing was perfect. This book talks about how women, especially young women, can lean into their careers and what inhibitors, internally or externally, can be preventing us from fast growth and really embracing our professional and personal development. Do you have the tendency to wait for opportunities to come your way, for that big assignment to just land on your desk? Or do you, in more physical settings, sit at the sides or the back of the room instead of at the table? Or virtually, do you have your camera off and your microphone off in meetings? Well, Lean In goes over some ways that we can be more present in our career and even ourselves. It was really reassuring for me to hear that I don't have to do it all or have everything figured out, especially from people who look like me and come from similar backgrounds. One of those people is Melody Hobson. She is the CEO and president of Ariel Investments. She is also currently the chairwoman of Starbucks. Melody's chapter is a wonderful piece about owning who you are and not forgetting where you come from. Melody Hobson is also one of the many guest writers who wrote for Lean In for graduates, and honestly, she stood out to me the most. These are just a few quotes that I really love from her chapter, particularly this one. Most of the time, there's no gain in calling attention to the last idea. It only keeps you from thinking up the next. Right under my monitor, I have this sign called Girl Boss, as you can see. And to me, this exemplifies really owning my career, being proactive, calling out what I want, and really having the confidence and the courage to go and get it. And for me, that quote by Melody Hobson was just the perfect personification of girl bossing it up. You should read this book for the wealth of new role models it introduces you to alone. I have to say, though, I'm not much of a fan of Sheryl Sandberg's shameless plugs for other books she's written while I'm reading her current book. And for me as a reader, it really took me out of the flow of reading and going chapter to chapter. So that's something to be aware of. And maybe it won't bother you, but I had a hard time focusing. Overall, this book is great if you are trying to figure out how to negotiate your pay, manage up, and overall just own your career. Reread when you need a reminder to lean in, be bold, and do what you've been hesitating to do. Whether you need to learn something for the first time or just need a refresher, this book has it all. Apartment shopping, exercising, car shopping, nutrition, Kelly Williams Brown has advice for it all, and it feels like it's coming from a big sister. What seriously made this book special for me was its willingness to talk about very real issues that other books in this category just totally ignore. Dating and how to be safe about it, especially in an online setting, how to deal with growing apart from a long-term friend, and how to grapple with the loss of a family member. Even more than this, Kelly Williams Brown talks about her own struggles with these topics and credit card debt that to me made her much more of a real person and not this omniscient, have it all together type narrator. Her advice is well researched in the sense that she asked a lot of people, accomplished family and friends, but I would have liked to have seen more studies quoted. Anyone who's been following my blog, and as you'll come to know as you continue watching my videos, I'm a fiend for studies. For me, studies really substantiate what an author is saying, and it shows that something isn't just circumstance, that there's actually a pattern, and that under certain conditions, a person can expect to have similar results, if not the same results. And without those studies, I just can't really believe what the author is saying. Adulting also features checklists, diagrams, and a bunch of other visuals that really break up the monotony of just reading text page after page. So if you're anything like me and you like visuals, you'll love this book. It's a great place to start on a variety of topics without getting too scarce an amount of information and also not getting too much to the point where someone would be overwhelmed. Reread when you want to laugh about how tough growing up can be. Shout out to rYOUminate, videos coming soon. Americanah is one of the first times in recent history where I read a book about Black people that wasn't crushed in slavery or poverty or some other form of depression. We have enough of those stories. Americanah is a love story at its heart and a story about belonging. Our lovebirds, Ifemelu and Obinze, are two Nigerian-born young adults who immigrate to the U.S. and London respectively. Now, don't get me wrong, this book covers topics that are really important to the Black community and ones that we face every day. Colorism, Eurocentric beauty standards, what being Black enough really means, what's good hair, what is home, and those are important topics, and I don't want to delineate from those. However, I would like to say that one of the things that really kept me going in this book, and one of the focal points for me, was the love story that for Ifemelu and Obinze started as early as childhood. And it shows how people develop in the midst of all those challenges and can still do it gracefully. I love this story for many other reasons as well. It explores how one can live authentically and come into their own. Also, how one can bridge two worlds when moving to a new home has to be reconciled with their last one. Something else that really intrigued me was the idea of getting lost in the culture of a place. Is it a marker of positive cultural immersion, or is it a negative manifestation of forgetting one's identity? And, there's love. Reread when you want a cute love story that'll make your heart swell. Now, time to avoid. A Conclusion, Don't Worry About It is a cute book, but generic. And that's the nicest way I can put it. For anyone that doesn't know, Lauren Graham is an actress from the show Gilmore Girls, and this book is a manuscript of her commencement speech at her alma mater, Langley High. During the course of the speech, she talks about different obstacles that she's faced in her life, and this book just isn't relatable. Let me give you an example. She walks through how she was struggling with imposter syndrome as she accepted a lead role in a Broadway musical, and that's really great. However, it was really hard for me to connect to her struggling to embrace a lead role when a lot of people can't even afford a Broadway show. While she was trying to approach grander themes and lessons around struggling with imposter syndrome and how to have confidence in oneself, it's not new advice. It's a short read at 64 pages, so if you need something to read, it's there. But you could also choose literally anything else. This is better sitting on your coffee table. That's it for this video, reminders. I will see you at the next location.